So the guys have done a fantastic job on the rig in drilling. These first 2 wells will cost $500 million. One Prudhoe Bay well is $5 to $8 million. So I'll say that again. A Prudhoe Bay well, $5 to $8 million. That's 5. That's 8. These 2-point Thomson wells, the first 2, including getting the pad ready, $500 million. So these are very, very, very expensive wells. And we're drilling these as keepers. These are long life wells. Not only can they produce gas or cycle gas, they can produce oil if we find oil, and then ultimately they can produce gas into a gas pipeline. So these wells we drill, we set them up for the next 50 years. This is what the site looked like in August, or early September of 2008 last year. What a difference 9 months makes. That was taken about a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago. That's what the pad looks like today. That's the same area. So we went from that, where we've just started to mobilise, remember that Hilton, that first Hilton I talked about, 12-person accommodation unit? You can see not much gravel, a lot of pooling of water. This is an existing gravel pad from an early exploration well. You can see here the barges, obviously the ocean around us. So we went from that to this in 9 months. This whole area is paved with those insulating pads, 10,000 of them, and the rig mat sitting over the top, 1,700. This is accommodation units for 136 people at any one point in time. This is the drill rig. The size of this rig here, this footprint, that's 48,000 square feet. In terms that you can understand, that's the size of an NFL football field. That's the size of this, just that footprint there. That's 25% taller than Statue of Liberty. These dark tanks towards the back end, that's the 450,000 gallons of diesel. These tanks, that's all the water. This is a whole bunch of semi-trailers. That's all our barite to make the mud dense, particular type of material to make it denser and flow easily. All our cement. We've got workshops, generators, you name it, we've got it out there. This is essentially a village in the middle of nowhere. So great effort by the team to get this pad done. This is just one of 3 pads that we're pursuing. This isn't the production facilities, by the way. This is to drill the first well, first 2 wells on this pad. We'll have to remove all of this and then build the production facilities. And remember that project illustration I showed you earlier, and I said where that rig was? That little rig in that picture, that cartoon? Well, that's the rig. So that puts in perspective the size of the production facilities that are to be installed in the next 5.5 years. So forward plans for us, we'll drill the surface hole this summer. This next winter coming up, we'll drill the production hole and finish the first well in this next winter. We'll start the next well this winter, and then the winter of 2010 we'll finish the second well. In parallel with that, we're going to move forward with our permitting activities. In 3 weeks we're permitting with the feds to get going with the NEPA process. That's the US Army Corps and the EPA, and get that going. We've got detailed design work underway, that's going to move forward. And if we can get our permits in time, and we're pushing all the buttons and working with the agencies, we'll start putting gravel and building these pads in the road.